Artificial intelligence updates, Friday, May 16th. As usual, a lot of updates. The title today, AI competition shifts from models to applications. And let's dive in. So first is a very interesting work from Sakana-AI. Sakana is in Tokyo, Japan, and this is research work, and what they created is continuous thought machines. The idea is that you don't have static weights, but you have ticks which are going in time. So your network consists of neurons, and they analyze the temporal pattern of activations for each neuron. So produce outputs of each internal tick, system optimized across the internal temporal dimension using standard loss functions, cross entropy, and so on. So architecture, decoupled internal dimensions of thought, neuron level models. Each neuron has its own internal weight that processes the history of incoming signals, so pre-activations, to calculate the next activation. So this is kind of similar how neurons in brain are getting activated by accumulating inputs over time and over different connections. Dynamic processing of temporal signal history, synchronization matrix computed from the history of all neurons. So this is just repeats the same thing. So it's not transformer, it's a different architecture in like UNet style synapse model. But very interesting, and it was solving mazes in this research paper. So this is archive paper, and this is GitHub, so everything you need. Next, Meta AssetGen generates 3D models, and it can rotate them. It's like really impressive, like high quality, three-dimensional figures. Next, Amazon now enhance my listing, so if all sellers can now use AI to make their posting on Amazon more effective, boosting listing quality by like 40%. Microsoft is offering OpenAI some of its equity stake for access to technology beyond their current contract. So Microsoft invested $13 billion in OpenAI, right? But then their relationship became less friendly. But Microsoft still wants to have access to their technology. So current contract gives them up to 30. So they want to extend it. And for this, they currently own like 20% of OpenAI. So they are negotiating to give 10% back to OpenAI to extend this period of time, to have access and be able to use OpenAI technology. Next, GPT-4.1 and mini added to ChatGPT. So this is my screen, GPT, and if you go more models, oh gosh, it doesn't share, but here it actually shows that you have GPT-4.1 and GPT-4.1-mini. So these models are good at coding and instruction following, and they were just released. Next, Alpha Evolve builds advanced algorithms. So this is from Google, as you can see here, and this is quite groundbreaking because, hello? Yeah, so this system actually creates a very advanced algorithm, evolutionary optimization framework to design advanced algorithm, mathematics, computer science, practical computer applications, uses Gemini Flash and Gemini Pro, generates multiple candidate algorithms, and then through some evolutionary selects the best one. Some achievements already developed a scheduled heuristic for Google data centers, recovering on average 0.7% of global computer resources. Well, this is important. Like, I guess this is millions and millions of dollars. Suggested improvements to develop code used by Google custom AI chips, leading to more efficient hardware designs. Optimized matrix multiplication operations, 23% speed up in core kernel, and overall reducing time to training model. Again, this is absolutely amazing achievement. Much to surpass state-of-the-art solutions in about 75% of over 50 mathematical problems. and so on. Amazing, amazing. Next, Absolute Zero Reasoner. So this work comes from China, and the next WebThinker is also coming from China, and WizardLM is also coming from China. I think most of the progress we see nowadays actually coming from China. So what is Absolute Zero Reasoner? So this is China, Tsinghua University, Beijing, and Beijing Institute for General Artificial Intelligence. So the model can train itself from scratch without using any external data. Well, we're starting with a model which already can do something, and then we want it to train itself on math or coding tasks. So it generates its own tasks and then it solves them and improves through self-play. So it's kind of similar to what DeepMind was doing when they were developing AlphaGo, which was playing with itself. Or yeah, so it's a very similar idea, different implementation, using reinforcement learning with verifiable rewards. So for example, it writes the code, runs the code, checks that the code generates the correct answer, and if not, then changes and so on. So it's learning from self-play, from experience. The system achieved state-of-the-art results on coding and math benchmarks, surpassing models trained on expert-labeled examples. So AZR, Absolute Zero Reasoner, uses three reasoning modes: deduction, abduction, and induction, to create harder self-generated challenges to learn. And this interesting moment was when producing chain of thoughts about outsmarting intelligent machines. Okay, I don't know if this is important or not. Okay, WebThinker gives AI the ability to browse the web, gather real-time information, and write detailed research reports. So, well, we have several deep research implementations coming from ChatGPT, from Google, now here from China. And again, you see Beijing Academy of Artificial Intelligence. Okay, next, WizardLM. So it is a Chinese team which started as a Microsoft team. And last year, they originally released something which Microsoft shut down very fast. It was an open source project posted on GitHub, actually. And part of it was evolve instruct method, where LLM themselves generate increasingly complex instruction data, which then used to fine tune and improve the models. So you see, it's very similar to absolute zero reasoning. But I checked, although both are in China, but these are completely separate projects, not related in any way. So what happened recently, they left Microsoft and joined Tencent, which is a huge Chinese technology company doing a lot of work in AI. So the latest thing is WizardLM 2 family of models. They're a mixture of experts, and the size, this is the biggest model, and then there is 70B and 7B regular models. Okay, next, yeah, this is just shameless plug to this channel. So we do these lectures every Friday, and subscribe to your channel. And this is the channel, Lev Selector, and this is the view. I have to update this, it's old. Okay, more updates. Bytedance, Opensources, DeerFlow. So Bytedance is, of course, China. Deep exploration and efficient research flow. This is what DeerFlow stands for. D-E-E-R flow. And you see the picture of deer. Open source deep research framework, Python plus Node.js in a Docker container. So LLMs plus web search, crawling, Python code execution, text-to-speech, multi-agent, land graph, MCP. So it's great that it's a deep research system and it is open source, because you know Google and OpenAI, they don't open source this. So this is great. So this is GitHub repository. Next, Google gives their latest model to Chinese company called Honor. Honor is a Chinese company, originally a sub-brand of Huawei, valuation $14 billion. And what this model does, it takes a static photo and converts it into a short video. And what's interesting about it, that it does it on the phone itself. So it doesn't need to communicate with Gemini, like over the network. So the compute ability of the phone itself is enough to make short videos from photos. Amazing. Also amazing that Google actually didn't do it on their own phones first. They actually gave it to another company in China. Next, Perplexity, which I love and use every day. This is a AI-enabled search engine. So they raise $500 million. Valuation is 14 billion, and this is their CEO. Okay, next, Bamba 9B version 2. So it's a Mamba-based model. Remember, the main model most common is Transformer, which has limitation because of attention mechanism, which has n-squared complexity. So Mamba is one of the attempts to remove this limitation. So Bamba 9B is based on the Mamba, which originally based on Samba, whatever. So it's released by IBM, Princeton, Carnegie Mellon, and UIUC, and outperforms Llama 3.1. So about the same size, but you see these Mamba models are becoming better and better, and now they already outperform some good transformer-based models. Trained on 3 trillion tokens, leverages Mamba 2 architecture, faster, and excels in L1 and L2 benchmarks. Okay, next. FaceAge AI predicts age and cancer from face photo. This is mind-blowing, right? So model looks at the picture of the person and tells if this person has cancer. Really amazing. So it was trained on a lot of labeled data. So picture and diagnosis, and yeah, this is coming from Boston, from Mass General. Yeah, you know how experienced doctors look at a patient and tell right away his diseases. So now AI can do that. Okay, next, NVIDIA global headquarters are moving into Taiwan. Okay, so America was giving a lot of headaches, so I guess they decided to move into Asia. China, you know, they invested so hard in AI, and they invested so hard in data centers, and they outmade, like they produced too many data centers. So 80% of more than 500 data centers are idle, sitting, doing nothing or almost nothing. So you see China poured billions into AI infrastructure to catch the AI boom. Now many data centers are staying unused. And this is the picture generated with GPT-4.0. Okay, TikTok. They now have AI Alive. AI Alive takes pictures and converts them into video stories. And again, we've already seen that Google is doing this and TikTok is doing this on their platform. Next, Audible uses AI to convert print to audio. Yeah, this is great because Audible, you know, it's part of Amazon, which sell audiobooks. And before, audiobooks were narrated by humans, but now they are narrated by people, and they have more than 100 different voices, multiple languages, accents, and dialects. So you can choose plans to roll out also translation. So let's say the publisher has a book which is written in English, and it can translate it automatically into Spanish, French, Italian, or German. It's not rolled out yet, but it should be rolled out this year. Spotify, it's actually the second largest provider of audiobooks. They now partnered with 11 Labs, which is famous for working with text-to-speech. And yeah, so they will also deliver audio narration of books. AI Medical 8B, Reasoning LLM answers medical questions. So interesting. As usual, they take Qwen model, in this case, small Qwen model, and train it on a lot of medical data, context length 16K, and yeah, it works very well. It achieved very high scores on medical benchmarks, but officially it's not intended or certified to work as a diagnostician. Windsurf. Windsurf is bought by OpenAI for $3 billion, right? It's a company making a AI editor, and they were using other models, like you can use Claude or whatever, GPT, but now they created their own models as WE. I wonder what it stands for. Maybe W stands for Windsurf. So SWE-1 family of models, they are proprietary. So there's a big model, light model, and mini model. And they're using something called flow awareness, the ability of humans and AI to operate on a shared timeline. And I want to see how they solve the problem of like improving the result, not in one step, but in dialogue, back and forth, back and forth. The models are good, but apparently they're behind Claude 3.7, but maybe good enough, and maybe they have very good integration into their system. So this is the picture Windsurf. LLMs get lost in multi-turn conversation. Yeah, this is related. So this is a research article, work from Microsoft and Salesforce, and they found that models perform very well if they asked a good question and the model just answers it right away. It's about 90%. But if the prompt doesn't explain everything and you have to go back and forth several times, the correctness drops down to 60%. So there is a major gap between LLMs, how LLMs are evaluated on benchmarks, which is one shot, versus how they're often used, which is back and forth dialogue. So this is interesting. And this is chart from this article showing that the drop is happening. Next is a very interesting work coming from this young guy. He is now 20 years old. He is in Lisbon, Portugal, in Europe. And he created a company, Suna. It's actually company is called Cortex AI, but the system is Suna. It's not his first company. He's like a serial entrepreneur. And this system, Suna, is intended to compete with Manus AI. Remember we spoke about Manus coming from China. It's an autonomous agent which can do operations like work with your computer, browse internet, place orders, do research, whatever, using open source technologies. And it is expensive and, well, it is good. But Suna is the same thing, but it's open source. You see GitHub and Hugging Face. And people saying that it's very good. It already has more than 11,000 stars on GitHub. It growing in popularity very, very fast and can handle complex tasks. For example, enhancing business-to-be lead spreadsheets by gathering data from LinkedIn or conducting research on financial topics like stock performance and so on. Yes. Yeah, this is great because it can take your computer. For example, you want to collect some information from LinkedIn, but LinkedIn requires you to be logged in into your account. So this thing can do it and automate these mundane tasks as finding people's contact information and so on. Next, Jeremy Howard, Answer.AI. So this is great. I spoke several times about Jeremy Howard. He is from Australia. He is a Kaggle legend. He is famous for his fast AI education courses. And now he has a company, Answer.AI. It has 14 people, and they are not planning to expand number of people, but they want to use better and better AI to grow their business. They literally want to build thousands of AI products with just 14 people. So it's a very good interview. It's about 1 hour long. This is YouTube link. I recommend you to listen to it. His team is using Chinese models, Qwen and DeepSeek. Um, Answer.AI is modeled after Edison, who created electrical bulb, right? Uh, so he had a lab in Menlo Park where they were doing research and creating commercial products. So that's kind of what Jeremy Howard is doing, but now in area of AI and also finding practical solutions. A core innovation at Answer.AI is dialogue engineering, a process where humans and AI work together in continuous dialogue. Their platform called Solvit. Humans can recalibrate in real time, correct for hallucinations, grounding, retrieval capabilities, and so on. So what he is saying that a purely autonomous AI cannot really be trusted, but if you collaborate human plus AI, you can achieve a lot. Answer.AI is backed by some venture capitalists, but has a public benefit mission to create as much societal benefit from AI as possible. Well, I follow Jeremy Howard. He's an amazing person. Well, we use his fast HTML, which is a great web framework written in Python. Next, Cline AI coding assistant. I hear about Cline all the time, so I decided to make a page about it. So Cline started, well, by this person, Saud Rizwan, and he was participating in a hackathon with Claude. It was last year, I think it was June. Yeah, it says June. Anthropic built with Claude hackathon. And then next month in July, he posted it on GitHub. It became open source project. So what it is AI assistant to be used with Visual Studio Code. And many people started using it and it was a success. Then in October, they decided to allow other models as well, not just Claude, but then they'll have to change the name because originally it was called Claude Dev. So they renamed it as Cline. And Cline is this CLI and editor abbreviation. Anyway, so it grows in popularity. It has more than 1 million downloads on Visual Studio Code extensions. And they just made yet another release. So it backed up by a small San Francisco private company called Cline. Just few people, and on LinkedIn we have only one person. This is Saud himself. So I listed some other famous coding assistants like GitHub Copilot, Tab9, IntelliCode, Codium, which is Windsurf, Amazon Code Whisperer, Cursor, Windsurf, and Try. Next, I tried to find which local coding model to use and also which extension to use with a local model, and was very disappointed because there are so many AI assistants for Visual Studio Code. They all work with ChatGPT, I mean with OpenAI models and Google and Claude, but not so much with Ollama. So I went through a list and eventually I kind of liked Kodi because I had success working with it. It has 640,000 downloads. So yeah, I was kind of surprised. I thought all AI assistants should have an option to work with local models, but apparently it's not true. Okay, next I want to say a few words about Figma. Figma started by these two people who in 2012, they were students in Brown University in Rhode Island. And then they released the Figma first time in 16. In 18, it was already 4 million in revenues. In 23, Adobe considered buying them for 20 billion, decided not to go, but paid them more than billion for this disillusion. Last year they had more than 700 million annual recurrent revenues, meaning people who subscribed to their services on a monthly basis, and now they're preparing for IPO at 12.5 billion estimated valuation. Right. So what is Figma? Figma allows you to do prototyping for web applications, and there's so much you can do. I mean, you can do prototyping and wireframing in many systems. You can do it in Adobe Photoshop or Illustrator, but this system, first of all, is collaborative. So it is in browser, and several people can see the same thing and can collaborate and work together. It looks like infinite field, and you have like islands, and each island is like a small project, a small markup. They added interactivity, and recently they added AI, so you can tell it that I want you to create a design for a website, and you can describe it using prompts and then iteratively improve it. They have a lot of templates, so this is mostly for graphical designers and web. It's amazing system, of course. Next is Arena Leaderboard. So you see the usual suspects. You see a lot of China. XAI Grok is on the third place. On the first, we have Gemini, and the most recent release on 6th of May, recently, like about a week ago. What we don't see here is Meta. It is way down, and also my favorite Anthropic Claude is off the coding. It's down there. But they promised to release a new model. So the current version is 3.7, but they promised to release 4 soon. So we will see. About jobs and layoffs, so this is month by month for the year. And you see this May, we see a lot of layoffs. So this is increased. And you see a lot of layoffs from Microsoft and from Panasonic. On 13th of this month, Microsoft laid off almost 7,000 people, but this is globally, not just in America. Okay, so these are the jobs. This is me as usual, and thank you.